Okay, so this channel is a lot about 3D printing and a lot about tabletop games like Warhammer, Age of Sigmar, and all of those. And generally I point out where you can go to find models, where you can go to, print your own models to play Warhammer, just in case the actual hobby itself is too expensive for you. And truth be told, unless you're playing in tournaments, you don't necessarily need Game Workshop's pieces. If you want their models and their aesthetic, go for it. I will never tell you to not do your hobby the way you want to do it. But if Warhammer's a little too expensive for you, I've got some great alternatives for you. And while I was finding those, I actually found something that made me think I need to post a video right now telling people to stop buying Warhammer. Not for forever, but for this month. You gotta take part in this if you ever want to play. Well, you'll just have to see. It's amazing. In the world of 3D printing, the hardest thing for you is generally finding the models that you want. And I'm not going to come out and say that you can find every model in your Warhammer army and it's going to be super easy. Because there are older models that people don't care for and so they don't model things after. You generally have to do a little bit of proxy work, okay? But with that being said, there are so many things out there that you can find. If you like the aesthetic, if you like the style of Games Workshop, you can find people that meet that. If you want cowboy orcs, you can find cowboy orcs. If you want samurai orcs or Tau, you can find samurai stuff. You can find stuff for just about any army out there. And there's a ton of different places you can go. You can go to Cults 3D, you can go to Thingiverse, and the one I'm going to be talking about today the most is My Mini Factory. My Mini Factory is basically where everyone goes to sell their miniature STL files, which you need to 3D print. And sure, some of them are pretty expensive, but compared to like going to Etsy or something like that, if you're going to print your own, this is kind of a good place to start because you'll be able to find a lot. And all you have to do is type in what you're looking for. Okay, I'm not going to go into specifics on that, but go there, mess around a little bit, and you'll see what I'm talking about. The armies that I found that just kind of as I was looking that I thought were amazing were first the Adeptus Mechanicus. I've struggled with these. This has got to be my favorite faction in the game. And I had struggled with finding good models to print for them. And it's probably one of the least played factions out there, so that makes sense. But on My Mini Factory, there was a ton. There was a lot more than I thought I was going to find. And then, of course, after that, I had to look into the Grey Knights, because, they're my second favorite faction, right? And I feel like Space Marines are everywhere. Tyranids, you can always find stuff for Tyranids. Necrons, you can generally find a lot of Necron stuff as far Egypt as you want to go and as far Terminator 2 as you want to go. But Grey Knights, just by looking for a minute. In a couple videos back, I showed you the models that I was doing, these holy knights that are absolutely amazing. I printed one of their, we'll call this the Nemesis Knight proxy that I printed, and it's just an amazing model. And I love it, and I'm not done painting it, or, I'd show you really, really cool close-up shots, but those are coming. Okay. But Grey Knights, there's so much. And like I said, orcs. There are a ton of different styles of orcs. You can go as funny and goofy as you want, or if you're looking for more serious stuff, you can find that too. You can print an orc army pretty easy. Like there's tons of orc stuff out there, and I'm showing off a little bit of everything that I found. And then I thought, well, what's a faction that people don't see a lot of? Well, Eldari. People complain about it all the time. That there's no Eldari models, they're so outdated. Some of them are 20 years old. There's a lot of Eldari out there. People who think that way about Eldari, guess what? There are 3D modelers out there that think the same way you do. And so they're creating models for that. Now, I'm not going to come out and say that you'll find everything that you're looking for, because certain models are just harder to find. But with time, they'll all be there. Okay, and so I was going through this list. I was going to pull up, a bunch of different factions and show off all the different stuff that I could. And then I watched a video for something that had me stop immediately. This is Worlds Beyond. And what is Worlds Beyond? Well, let me explain that to you a little bit. It's Kickstarter, basically. And it's not just your normal Kickstarter. This is One Page Rules meets Archvillain Games, who are the ones responsible for those Grey Knight models earlier, and Titan Forge, who make amazing STL files. All of these are different Patreons that work together to make tabletop gaming better for anyone who has a 3D printer. And they decided to collaborate, to get together and create Worlds Beyond. And basically what it is they're all getting together to sell armies to play one-page rules. And if you don't know what one-page rules is, in my last video, I posted a little bit on it, but it's basically a tabletop war game for science fiction and fantasy, as well as a skirmish game for science fiction and fantasy, as well as battleship game and everything in between. One Page Rules is amazing. Anyone who's into 3D printing and miniatures has heard about them, and if you haven't, you should. But basically what this campaign is, they've all gotten together to work together to make the future of tabletop gaming and 3D printing. The rules are free. You can download them, you can print them, they're readily available. It's called One Page Rules because they have a broken down rule set that is one page. So if you want to just take a look, you can. Now, they also have a way more in-depth rule set that is multiple pages long and that you can take a look there. But anyway, if you download those rules and find an army. Now, keep in mind too, if you have an existing army, you're set. That's all you need. You don't need to purchase these armies. These armies just allow you to have something if you don't. Now, there are multiple tiers, okay? The starting tier is $60, and it incorporates just these 3 different ones, and we'll talk about all of these. The thing that I wanted to point out is that if you go to Giga All In, or Mega All In Sci-Fi, or Mega All In Fantasy, now I know $250 is a lot, and $450 is a ton of money. But you gotta see what these include, okay? The $60 ones come with 3 full armies of each kind. So 3 full armies of sci-fi, 3 full armies of fantasy, and whatever the Titans are, right? But 3 full printable armies that you can print as many things as you want. As you can see, there's my fancy Grey Knight proxies right there that are amazing, but they have like proxies for Sister of Battle too. Okay, so for $60 you get 3 armies, and if you're looking for something like this, I mean, here's your Necron proxies, here's your Tyranid proxies, and here's your Sisters / Grey Knight proxies. That's 3 armies for $60. Yes, you have to print them. Yes, you need a 3D printer or a friend who has a 3D printer, but that's not that big a deal. You can find those. You can spend the money to get your own printer to print these things and still be well under the cost of what it would be to have 3 armies printed out. And if anything ever breaks, you can replace it. If anything, you don't like the paint job, you don't have to stick it in, chemicals and remove the paint. You can literally just paint another one for 40 cents. Okay, but that's kind of beside the point. Jumping back down to, I mean, you can come here and you can look at all these mega all-ins for the $250, right? The 450 Giga all-in comes with every army that they have right now. Okay, so 9 plus 9, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 armies. I think they said somewhere that it was even more than that it was 30 with all the extra add-ins and stuff. But that's so many miniatures. Like I can't get over this enough. And this thing just went live yesterday. Okay? And as you can see, I mean, they've reached $43,000 as of today. There's 33 days left on this thing. I came to it through My Mini Factory. I'm sure there's other ways to get to it. But yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And these armies, we got your beastmen, we got your mummies, we got your human empire, we got your elves, we got your ogres. Oh, more Empire Man, vampires, demons. We haven't even reached the fantasy stuff yet, right? Okay, here we go. Here's fantasy. Dwarves, samurais, Saurian Star Hosts, which are lizards, Carnage. If you want your proxies for any Warhammer army, you can almost find them all here in this thing, and you're done for forever. You have any army that you want, plus some with like T-Rexes and stuff. So anyway, if you want your plague bearers, you know, your orcs, your demons, this Kickstarter has them all in spades. So check it out. It is amazing. And that's what I wanted to say. I mean, I've been looking for proxies for years. I have hundreds of gigs of miniature files for games like Warhammer, and I love looking through them, but the truth is I don't always find what I want. You know, you're not always going to find exactly what you want. But if you want to play a game, if you want to start making armies, if you want to play affordable Warhammer, go out, buy your rule books, print your armies, play with your friends. Because like I said, if you're not playing in a tournament, which the percentage of people that actually play in tournaments is insane to me, how low it is. So you're always going to find people that want to just play. And if they're your friends, it doesn't matter. This is the best option I have ever seen for printing models for tabletop wargaming. Even if you're not playing Warhammer, even if you're playing something else, this has it all. Rules, models, everything you need. So get out there. Take a look at it. If you don't want to fully invest, put your $60 in and get 3 armies. These guys aren't sponsoring me in any way. I've purchased models from all of them. I think they're all great vendors, and I feel like this is an excellent push for anybody who wants to get into this hobby. Now's the time to do it. Like I said, don't buy Warhammer for a month or a few months. Try this out. In the end, I promise you won't regret it. This is amazing. And I have some of their files. I'm painting some of their files. I'll show you what they look like. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Let me know what you think. And I'll keep putting out content that has to do with a lot of these things. And I hope you'll stick around for it. If that sounds good to you, please like, subscribe. Follow our channel on Instagram. We're posting pictures, we're painting minis, we're doing all sorts of stuff as often as I can. But a video is coming out every week. And as always, thank you for coming. Thank you for enjoying this hobby. And don't spend so much time building your world, especially if you buy 30 armies worth of models. But don't spend so much time building those worlds that you forget to spend some time in them. Until next time.